The invitation glared at me from my kitchen counter in my Seattle apartment, like a storm waiting to break. Parker Family Christmas Dinner, December 25th, 6 p.m., at their Bellevue estate. My sister Rachel's flawless cursive taunted me on that ivory card. It wasn't even meant for me. I'd seen it on my niece Sophie's Instagram story, her excitement spilling over about the family gathering. I'm Emily Carter, the outcast of the Parker clan, uninvited to family dinners for 3 years. Not since I chose a digital marketing career over the stable lawyer my mom, Susan, had handpicked. "You're throwing your life away," Susan had said, her lips tight, eyes cold. "Mark would have given you security, a real future." That reckless dream built my thriving marketing firm, one of Seattle's best. Yet, it never measured up to the Parker standard. My phone buzzed, snapping me back. Rachel's name flashed on the screen. I sighed, bracing myself. "Hey, Rachel," I said, keeping my tone light, casual. "Emily," she replied, her voice syrupy, "I spotted you at Pike Place yesterday. You should tell us when you're in town." I rolled my eyes, leaning against the counter. "I've lived 15 minutes from you for years, Rachel." A pause, heavy, deliberate. "Yeah, well," she faltered, "Mom mentioned she missed you recently." "Oh." I gripped the counter, knuckles whitening. "Is that why she told Aunt Linda I'm drowning in corporate ambition at Thanksgiving?" Rachel's voice spiked, defensive, but I cut her off. "You know what? I'm busy. Tell Sophie I said hi." I hung up, hands trembling, the silence in my apartment deafening. 3 years of this, reduced to a family cautionary tale. Rachel's perfect life, her marriage, her kids plastered across social media, while I'm whispered about at gatherings I'm barred from. The sting of exclusion burned, but something else flickered inside me. Anger, yes, but also resolve. I wasn't just the Parker family's disappointment anymore. I'd built something real, something mine. Maybe it was time to show them exactly who Emily Carter had become. 20 minutes later, I slid into a booth at a cozy taco joint in Seattle's Fremont district, the smell of fresh cilantro and lime cutting through my fog of frustration. My best friend Lily, with her wild curls and sharper wit, was already there, munching on chips. "You look like you need more than tacos," she said, sliding a basket of guacamole my way. I spilled everything: the Instagram post, Rachel's call, the Parker family's 3-year exile of their failed daughter. My voice cracked as I recounted Susan's words about my career, how I'd never be enough. Lily listened, her eyes narrowing, stealing a chip from my plate mid-rant. "Enough sulking," she said, leaning forward, her grin mischievous. "You're gonna crash that Christmas dinner." I nearly choked on my soda. "Crash it? Lily, that's insane." But her eyes sparkled, undeterred. "Show up looking like $1,000,000, Emily. Bring a jaw-dropping date and watch their perfect world tilt." My mind raced, picturing Susan's stunned face, Rachel's forced smile. "And who exactly would I bring?" I asked, half laughing, half intrigued. Lily's grin widened. "James Mitchell." My jaw dropped. James, the media mogul whose company I'd worked with for months, was Seattle's most eligible bachelor, charming and influential. He'd praised my marketing campaigns, even joked about owing me after I saved his brand from a PR mess. "No way," I said, shaking my head. "He's a client, Lily. It's unprofessional." "Unprofessional?" Lily scoffed, dipping a chip in salsa. "Your family's been parading Rachel's perfect life while shunning you. Imagine walking into their Bellevue mansion with James Mitchell on your arm. Susan's obsession with status? She'll lose it. Rachel's smugness? Gone." I stared at my plate, the idea sinking in. James wasn't just a client. He was the kind of man the Parkers would fawn over: successful, polished, untouchable. "They'd hate it," I murmured, a dangerous spark igniting inside me. "Exactly," Lily said, leaning closer. "You're not just Emily, the family screw-up. You run a killer firm. You're a force. It's time they see it." I pushed a lock of hair behind my ear, my heart pounding. "If I do this, it's all or nothing." Lily raised her glass of iced tea, clinking it against mine. "That's my girl. Call James. Make the Parkers regret ever doubting you." As I pulled out my phone, a smile crept across my face, a smile that promised trouble and triumph. The next day, I sat in my sleek office in downtown Seattle, the Puget Sound glittering through the window. My stomach churned as I dialed James Mitchell's number. What was I doing? Asking a media mogul to play pretend at my family's Christmas dinner? Before I could hang up, his warm voice answered. Emily, what's up? I took a breath, then spilled the plan, crashing the Parker family dinner to shake up their smug world. To my shock, he laughed, a rich, genuine sound. I'm in. Sounds like fun. I blinked, stunned. Just like that. He chuckled. You saved my company's image last month. I owe you. Besides, I'm curious about this family of yours. We met that afternoon at my office, the space humming with the quiet energy of a Friday. James lounged in a guest chair, his tailored suit screaming power, his hazel eyes sharp with interest. So, give me the rundown, he said, pulling out his phone to take notes. I paced, laying out the Parker dynamics, Susan's obsession with status, Rachel's perfect wife act, my dad Michael's quiet complicity. They've written me off, I admitted, my voice catching. Because I chose this, I gestured at the office, my empire, over their cookie-cutter life. James leaned forward, his gaze steady. They're wrong, Emily. You're a game changer. I saw it when you tore apart my marketing plan and built a better one. My cheeks warmed. Was that admiration in his voice? We strategized like we were planning a campaign. He'd arrive with me in a chauffeured car, vintage wine in hand, charm dialed to 11. We'll make them see you, he said, tapping his phone. Not the failure, but the woman who runs circles around most CEOs. I nodded, a spark of confidence flaring. Then my office door swung open. Lily burst in, waving her phone like a victory flag. You've got to see this. She shoved the screen in my face, a perfectly staged Instagram post from Rachel, her family decorating a Christmas tree in their Bellevue mansion. The caption? Counting down to our perfect Parker Christmas. Family forever. Lily's eyes blazed. She knows you're not invited, Em. She's rubbing it in. I clenched my fists, the hurt morphing into fire. This just got personal, I said, glancing at James. He raised an eyebrow, a sly grin spreading. Then let's make it unforgettable. What's the dress code for the shindig? Lily clapped her hands. Glam. Think red carpet vibes. Emily's got a dress that'll stop traffic. I laughed despite myself, their energy infectious. You two are trouble, I said, but my resolve hardened. Rachel wants to play perfect? Fine. I'll show them perfection and power they can't ignore. James stood, adjusting his cufflinks. I'll handle the car and a few surprises. You focus on owning that room. As he left, I caught my reflection in the window. The woman staring back wasn't a Parker outcast. She was ready to rewrite the story. The week before Christmas, my Capitol Hill apartment became a war room. Lily stood in my living room, holding up a crimson dress that shimmered under the chandelier. This, she declared, is the one. It's bold, classy, and screams Emily Carter, Queen of Seattle. I ran my fingers over the fabric, its smooth silk sparking a thrill. It's perfect, I said, imagining Susan's jaw hitting the floor. Lily grinned, unpacking a makeup case. Trial run tonight. We're not leaving anything to chance. As she set up brushes and palettes, my phone buzzed. A text from Sophie, my niece. Aunt Em, Mom's freaking out. Grandma's changing the menu because of you and James Mitchell. It's chaos. I laughed, warmth spreading through me. The Parkers were rattled, and I hadn't even arrived yet. Lily caught my smile. What's that about? I showed her the text. Sophie says Susan's upgrading the wine for James. They're scrambling. Lily hooped, tossing a mascara wand in the air. That's your power, Em. You're shaking their perfect little world. I sank onto the couch, the dress draped across my lap. It's weird. I'm excited, but what if this backfires? Lily knelt beside me, her eyes fierce. It won't. You're not that girl they pushed out anymore. You're a boss. And James? He's your ace. Her words steadied me, but a memory flickered 3 years ago, when Susan's chosen match, Mark, proposed at a family dinner. His ring gleamed, Susan beamed, Rachel's camera flashed. But I'd stepped back, heart racing, and said no. I can't give up my career, I'd told him. He'd sneered, "No man wants a wife who outshines him." That rejection had cost me my family's approval, but it fueled my empire. My phone pinged again, pulling me back. A delivery notification. I opened the door to find a sleek black box, a note tucked inside. For Christmas Eve. Shine bright. James. Inside was a delicate silver bracelet, its tiny diamonds catching the light. My breath hitched. Too much, I thought, but Lily whistled. That man's playing to win. I slipped it on, the weight grounding me. Why is he doing this? I murmured. Lily shrugged. Because he sees you. Not the Parker outcast, but the woman who flipped his company's image in weeks. Her words echoed James's from our meeting, and I felt a surge of confidence. I wasn't just crashing a dinner. I was reclaiming my place. Later, as Lily perfected my smoky eye, Sophie called, her voice a conspiratorial whisper. Grandma's on her third call with the caterer. She's obsessed with impressing James. Oh, and I posted about you two at his gala. It's blowing up online. I grinned, picturing Susan's panic. How's it feel, Soph, knowing I'm crashing? She giggled. It's gonna be epic. Best Christmas ever. As we hung up, Lily stepped back, admiring her work. Look at you, she said. I glanced in the mirror. The woman staring back, red dress, diamond bracelet, fierce eyes, wasn't hiding anymore. Tomorrow, I said, squaring my shoulders, the Parkers meet the real Emily Carter. Lily raised an imaginary glass. To epic entrances and family reckonings. I laughed, the sound sharp, ready. Christmas Eve was coming, and I was done being invisible. Christmas Eve arrived, and the Seattle skyline glittered as James's sleek black limousine purred through Bellevue's quiet streets. I adjusted my crimson dress, the diamond bracelet catching the streetlights. James, impeccable in a tailored suit, squeezed my hand. Ready to shake things up? He asked, his grin boyish yet fierce. I nodded, heart hammering. Let's do this. The car pulled up to the Parker mansion, its sprawling lawn twinkling with Christmas lights. Neighbors peeked from their windows, phones already out. James's driver opened the door, and I stepped onto the driveway, the cold air sharp against my skin. Susan and Rachel stood on the porch, their smiles tight, eyes wide. Gotcha, I thought. Susan recovered first, her voice syrupy. Emily, what a surprise. Merry Christmas. I kissed her cheek, leaving a faint lipstick mark. Merry Christmas, Mom. Hope it's okay we dropped by. James stepped forward, charm radiating. Mrs. Parker, thank you for having us. I've heard your Christmas dinners are legendary. Susan practically melted. Oh, Mr. Mitchell, we're honored. Please, come in. Rachel blew a tense air kiss my way. You should have called, Em. We might not have enough. James cut in smoothly, nodding to the driver hauling gift bags. We brought plenty vintage wine, champagne, a few surprises. Rachel's eyes flickered with unease. Perfect. Inside, the mansion smelled of pine and roasted turkey. Sophie, my niece, caught my eye from the staircase, barely hiding a grin as she filmed discreetly. Rachel's husband, Tom, stood nearby, his face sour, like he'd bitten a lemon. James leaned close, whispering, "Your sister looks ready to bolt." I smirked. Rachel's usual polish was cracking, revealing the anxious girl I remembered from childhood. Susan ushered us to the living room, where Dad, Michael, nodded stiffly. "Generous of you, Mr. Mitchell." "Call me James," he replied, all ease. "Emily's been a game-changer for my company. Least I can do is join her for dinner." Susan's smile faltered, and Rachel's fork paused midair. They hadn't expected that. In the kitchen, Rachel cornered me as I helped with plates. "What's this game, Emily?" Her voice was sharp, eyes darting to the dining room. I set a glass down carefully, meeting her gaze. "Game? I'm just here for family dinner. Isn't that what you wanted? All of us together." She slammed a plate onto the counter, the clink echoing. "Don't play innocent. You show up with James Mitchell, acting like you're above us. This is a stunt." My blood heated, but I kept my voice icy. "Careful, Rachel. Accuse me again and I'll start sharing facts. Like how Tom's perfect investments aren't so perfect." Her face paled. She knew I meant the rumors about his risky deals, ones she'd begged him to avoid. Before she could snap back, James appeared in the doorway, his presence a calm anchor. "Everything okay?" he asked, eyes on me. "Perfect," I said, holding Rachel's stare. "Just catching up on family traditions." The doorbell chimed, and Susan's voice floated in. "Oh, photographers? What a surprise." I bit back a laugh. James's PR team was flawless, planting candid shots for maximum buzz. Rachel's hands shook as she adjusted a fork. "You planned this," she hissed. I tilted my head, the bracelet glinting. "No, sis. You planned this years ago when you decided I wasn't enough." As we headed to the dining room, I caught Sophie's wink. The Parkers were rattled, and the night was just beginning. I straightened my shoulders, ready for war. The dining room in the Parker mansion glowed under a crystal chandelier, but the air crackled with tension. I sat across from Rachel, her perfect makeup barely hiding her unease. James, beside me, poured wine with a disarming smile, while Susan fussed over the turkey. Sophie, phone discreetly angled, captured every moment. The table was a battlefield, and I was armed. Susan raised her glass, voice bright but brittle. "To family traditions." I clinked my glass, my eyes locked on Rachel. "To honesty," I added, the word sharp. Rachel's fork froze midair. Susan tried to steer the conversation. "James, how did you and Emily meet?" He leaned back, hand brushing mine. "I interviewed 5 marketing firms to rebrand my company. For Fed Me Fluff." "Emily?" She called my strategy outdated, laid out a better one. "Doubled our market value in 3 months." Susan choked on her wine. Michael, my dad, leaned forward, intrigued. "That's impressive, Emily. Why didn't you share this?" I met his gaze steady. "I tried. Easter, 2 years ago. You all left for Rachel's new lake house before I could finish." Silence fell, heavy as the snow outside. Tom, Rachel's husband, cleared his throat, desperate to shift focus. "Speaking of business, James, I've got an investment deal you'd love." Rachel shot him a look. "Not now, Tom." James raised an eyebrow. "Actually, Emily's the one to pitch to. She's in Forbes' top 30 under 35. Did you know?" Susan's silverware clinked loudly. Rachel's face tightened. Sophie piped up, voice bright. "Aunt Em was in Business Weekly, too. I used her company strategy for my school project. Best in class." Rachel snapped, "Enough, Sophie. We're not here for business." I leaned forward, voice calm but cutting. "Why not? You've spent years celebrating your perfect life while dismissing mine." Susan tried to intervene. "Emily, we just want what's best. You're not getting younger." "Mark could've," I cut her off, standing, chair scraping. "Mark? The guy who wanted me to quit my job, move to Tacoma, and pop out kids? He said no man wants a wife more successful than him." James's hand found mine under the table, a quiet anchor. Rachel jumped in, voice shrill. "Not everyone lands a media mogul, Emily. Some of us value traditional lives." I laughed cold. "Traditional? Like your rushed wedding to Tom after his startup went public." Rachel paled. Tom's jaw clenched. "Emily," Michael warned, but I was done holding back. "No, Dad. Let's talk tradition. Like ignoring my wins because they don't fit your mold. Or cutting me from your birthday party because my lifestyle might upset Aunt Linda." Susan protested. "We only want you happy." "Happy?" My voice rose, steady but fierce. "Was it happy when you told everyone I was unraveling because I rejected Mark? Or when you excluded me from Christmas for 3 years?" James stood beside me, his presence solid. "What Emily's saying is, success isn't one size fits all. She's built something extraordinary because she chose her path." Sophie nodded, eyes wide. "That's what I wrote in my report. She's changing digital marketing by breaking old rules." Rachel slammed her hand on the table, wine sloshing. "This was perfect until you showed up, Emily. You ruin everything." The room froze. Even Susan looked stunned. I lifted my glass, swirling the wine, voice deadly calm. "Perfect? Should we discuss why Tom's been sleeping in your guest house? Or the $200,000 he lost on that tech flop you begged him not to fund?" Rachel's face went white. Tom stared at his plate. Susan gasped. Rachel, what's she talking about? I pressed on, relentless. I'm in marketing, sis. Information's my game. Like the SEC sniffing around Tom's deals. It's about to hit the news. The room erupted. Susan demanded answers. Rachel's eyes welled up. Tom looked ready to lunge. Enough. Michael's voice boomed, a rare thunder. Sit down, all of you. We sank into our seats, even James startled. Emily, he said, eyes soft but firm, you've made your point. Rachel, your sister's success isn't your failure. Tom, we'll talk about this SEC mess later. Susan tried to speak, but Michael raised a hand. No, Susan. We've hurt Emily enough. Our perfect family is just a facade. The silence that followed was raw, broken only by Sophie's phone, still quietly recording the Parker family's unraveling. The dining room fell quiet, the weight of Michael's words settling like snow outside the Bellevue mansion. Rachel's mascara streaked her cheeks, and Susan's hands trembled around her wine glass. I sat back, my anger ebbing, replaced by something softer hope, maybe. James nudged a fresh glass my way, his eyes steady. Michael broke the silence, voice low. Emily, I'm sorry. For not defending you when you turned down Mark. For letting Susan's expectations drown yours. For needing a media mogul to make me see it. My throat tightened. I'd waited 3 years for those words. Susan's voice wavered. I kept every article about your firm, Emily. In a scrapbook. I was too stubborn to say I was proud. She reached into a drawer, pulling out a worn leather book. Pages of clippings my Forbes feature, local news on my Seattle firm stared back at me. My eyes stung. Mom, I whispered, why didn't you tell me? She shook her head, tears falling. I thought you needed saving. But you were saving yourself all along. Rachel spoke, voice small. I've been jealous, Em. Your freedom, your success, it's everything I'm not. She glanced at Tom, who hadn't returned from his abrupt exit. I've been taking online event planning courses. With everything going on, I need a plan B. Sophie's eyes lit up. Mom, you didn't tell me. I saw your certificates on your laptop. Rachel flushed, half smiling. I was embarrassed. But yeah, I'm trying. I leaned forward, genuinely curious. Events? You'd be amazing, Rachel. You've always been the queen of organization. James raised his glass. To the Parker women, breaking molds and building futures. Sophie grinned, adding, and I want to study digital marketing, like you. Not law, like Mom and Grandpa planned. Rachel's jaw dropped, but she softened. You do? Sophie nodded, nervous but firm. I'm good at it, Mom. My TikTok analytics beat most pros. I squeezed her hand. You're hired for my summer internship, sophomore. One condition, keep your grades up and be honest with your family. Rachel laughed, a real sound. Deal. But I'm hiring her first for my business. Susan, quieter now, spoke. I've been wrong, pushing everyone into one idea of success. Emily's firm, Rachel's dreams, Sophie's talent, it's all beautiful. James cleared his throat. Rachel, if you're serious about events, I know investors who'd back you. And Sophie, my PR team wants you to consult on our youth campaigns. Your gala post hit 1 million views. Sophie gasped, nearly dropping her phone. Rachel's eyes widened. We can't impose, it's not imposing, James cut in, winking at me. It's how business works. We moved to the living room, the mood thawing. James charmed Susan with charity tales, while Michael and Rachel scrolled through business school sites. Sophie tugged me to the porch, the crisp December air biting. My videos are viral, she said, showing me thousands of comments from girls inspired by my stand. But Mom and Grandpa, they want me in law. I'm scared to tell them I want marketing. I hugged her close. You just did, sophomore. And they're listening now. You've got me too. Rachel appeared, shawl-wrapped, overhearing. Marketing, huh? Her voice was gentle. Sophie nodded, braver. I'm good, Mom. I want to be like Aunt Em. Rachel sat beside us. Then you will. And I'll need your skills for my company. She looked at me, eyes soft. Thanks, Em. For shaking us up. I smiled, the porch swing creaking. That's what sisters do. Back inside, Susan pressed the scrapbook into my hands. You don't need us to complete you, Emily. But we need you. I nodded, the anger I'd carried for years melting away. The Parkers weren't perfect, but they were mine. And for the first time, I felt like I belonged. As midnight neared, James's driver pulled up to the Parker Mansion's driveway in Bellevue, the snow dusting the ground like a fresh start. The family gathered outside, their faces softer than the tense welcome hours ago. Susan hugged me tight. "Stay, Emily. Your room's still here." I smiled, surprising myself. "Next time, Mom. We've got some processing to do." Rachel stepped forward, her embrace fierce. "Thank you," she whispered, "for seeing through Tom's mess before I could." I squeezed her back. "That's what sisters do, even the disappointing ones." Michael's voice was firm. "No more labels. Just family." Sophie bounced over, phone in hand. "Aunt Em, the gala video hit 2 million views. James's PR team sent a contract for that consulting gig." James handed her an envelope. "It's official, Sophie. A paid internship next summer, joint with Emily's firm." He turned to Rachel, offering another envelope. "Contacts for your event business. 3 clients are already interested." Rachel's hands shook, her voice catching. "I don't know what to say." I grinned. "Say you'll stop chasing perfect. It's exhausting." She laughed, free. "Deal." Michael clapped James's shoulder. "Golf club membership's on me. But fair warning, I'm awful." James chuckled. "Good. We'll be terrible together." Susan pulled me aside, pressing the scrapbook into my hands. "I watched you, Emily, even when I couldn't admit it. You don't need a man or us to shine. We failed you, but we're learning." I hugged her, voice thick. "We all failed a bit, but we're fixing it." I glanced at James. "Dinner at my place next week. I'm hiring caterers, though no cooking for this businesswoman." Laughter rippled through the group, healing. In the car, James loosened his tie, the Seattle skyline twinkling ahead. "Mission accomplished?" he asked. I nodded, the scrapbook warm on my lap. "Better than revenge." I thought I needed their approval. Turns out, we all needed truth. He took my hand, eyes serious. "You're the kind of partner I want, Emily. I'm expanding my media division. Need someone who gets digital and traditional and isn't afraid to call me out." I raised an eyebrow, teasing. "Job or more?" He smiled, open. "Anything you want. No labels, just possibilities." My phone buzzed. A group text from Rachel. "Breakfast tomorrow. Mom's waffles." "James, you're invited." Sophie added, "Bring your marketing brain, Aunt Em. Mom and I need business plan help." Also, the golf buddy video's trending. I showed James, laughing. "Still want in on this chaos?" He squeezed my hand. "Absolutely. But maybe no limos next time." As snow fell, the bracelet glinted on my wrist. Not the diamonds, but the truth we'd uncovered, bridges rebuilt, futures shared, made me feel whole. Merry Christmas, I thought, finally home.